Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a positive spin. Today we're going to be talking about the devil inside. Now, the devil inside is hated. I think every time you mention found footage, you get a group of people who automatically hate it, which is a shame because I think you should really watch a movie in order to hate it. Although I know some people have a problem with the shaky cam and are motion sensitive, which that I get. But not every found footage movie is rough with the camera and the motion and everything. This one actually isn't that bad. Now, my history with this film is pretty much non-existent. I watched it when it first came out. I bought the DVD at I think it was at a thrift store, and then I ended up getting the Blu-ray at a thrift store too, upgrading because I actually like this film. This was one of the few, and I was talking to Joe when we were watching it, that actually stands out to me. Unfortunately, possession movies are a dime a dozen. It's not really my go to category for horror, but this was one of the ones that kind of stood out to me. Not just because it was based on a true story, but because I thought the subject matter was interesting. And that's what kind of separates the whole possession category for me. So let's put a positive spin on The Devil Inside. One of the first things, first and foremost, I gotta say is I love the backdrop, which is Italy. You can't do much better as far as overall scenery and area and all that kind of stuff. Italy is just beautiful, and it's nice that they were able to film there. I like how the beginning is a police investigation where they show exactly what Maria, now I'm blanking on her last name, Maria Rossi is responsible for. And then it goes right in from the um, police report to the television um, reporters that are covering exactly what she did. And then it tells you a little something about what happened and how long she's been in the, I guess, the criminally insane wing in Italy. I like that this is like a mockumentary. It's kind of like a mix between found footage and a mockumentary. The daughter is cute and personable. She's very likable. One of the things I really enjoyed about this was when she went to sit in on the exorcism class because she goes to the Vatican. And because things have changed as far as religion and exorcisms and how they view things, um, it wasn't exactly supported by the Vatican. You know, it's one of those things where it's like supposed to be like an underground sort of thing. I like how they refuse to believe that the mother is possessed, and they link everything to mental illness. I think sometimes movies give in a little too easily to possession, and it doesn't leave room for doubt. I like movies, as far as possession goes, where there's another explanation possibly. And you have to kind of fight with yourself while you're watching it in order to make up your own mind whether this was actually possession or mental illness. Um, the daughter and the mom, their first conversation in the mental institution, is pretty creepy, and I kind of liked it. It was different, and I like the way the mom plays crazy. I just thought it was pretty cool. Um, I also liked that the fact it's the daughter that's making this mockumentary in order to understand her mom and what she did, and you know, the fact that she's worried that if this is mental illness, you know, is she justified in thinking that, this could happen to me someday? So I like that. Um, I also like the fact that when the mom and her are having their first conversation, it's like the mom knows things she shouldn't or couldn't know. So that kind of starts your mind thinking, well, maybe there is something else going on here besides just plain old mental illness. Um, I like the exorcism and how it's done kind of underground because they don't want to. It's basically against the law what they're doing, and I kind of like how it's on the down low. I think that's pretty cool. And I wrote this down. Um, when David, who's one of the priests, um, commits suicide during the whole transference scene, I think that is interesting, and I think it's a neat, um, or maybe a different way of looking at things as far as the whole possession um, lore and category. And it's not something I generally see in possession films at that point, so I really enjoyed that. All in all, I really like this film. I know when Joe and I were talking, he did say that people didn't like the ending and that they kind of stood up and booed at the very end of the film because they didn't like it at the end. I don't understand that. I thought the ending kind of justified the um, the place they were trying to go with the film. And this was actually supposed to have a sequel because it was the most profitable movie of that year. Everybody hates it, but yet it made the most money out of every movie. I don't get that. But anyway, it was supposed to have a sequel, but because the director got hate mail, um, and I think it was death threats or something like that, the sequel never got made. So it's a shame. Yet another movie that toxic fandom has robbed us of. And I for one was curious as to where this film could have went. So I think there was more story to tell, but we'll never know that now. Um, Check out The Devil Inside if you've never seen it. It's a very solid found footage film that I think is underrated. Um, Check it out or don't, but don't forget to check out Joe's positive spin for The Devil Inside. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.